What's way more dangerous than most people think? Mold. It can be poisonous, make you hallucinate, and eating it can seriously mess with your body. Palm trees. They are so much heavier than they look, and their branches can kinda just fall off without warning. Water currents. Rip tides in the ocean and eddy currents in streams. We have some river canyons with signs describing all of the ways you can die in the river, and people still die swimming there. Not getting regular checkups. I almost died because I had an internal hemorrhage that was slowly killing me. I was so depleted of iron and blood that the nurses thought my vitals were written in wrong because I should have been dead. I needed 3 pints of blood in one sitting. Walking downstairs with your hands in your pockets. Never ever do it. Especially not drunk. A fall down even 1 or 2 stairs with no hands to catch you can break your neck. I've seen a video of a man tripping and falling down 4 stairs, hitting the top of his head on the wall and dying right there in the stairwell. Cat bites. Hiking in Arizona heat. A kind of random one. But don't eat uncooked slugs or snails. They can have parasites that will make you paralyzed and eventually kill you. An Australian kid died a couple of years ago from it. An awful way to go. Anything under tension can be dangerous. Guitar strings hold around 200 pounds of tension. A game of tug-of-war can put thousands of pounds of tension into a rope. It's even been known to kill people. Here's a list. Priceonomics.com, a history of tug-of-war fatalities. Towing a stuck car with a chain. There is a list of people who have died from having the chain come through the back window and kill them. Blocking your nose when you sneeze. Though it's rare, you can damage blood vessels in your eyes and nose. You can rupture your eardrum, and you can even have an aneurysm. Bites from other human beings are actually really dangerous due to infection rates. Driving tired, sleepy. Being knocked unconscious. Lots of popular media makes it seem like a minor thing that an average person can shrug off after a short period. In reality, if you are ever knocked out, then you have suffered brain damage. It's possible there might not be any lasting effects, but it's a serious injury and you 100% need to see a doctor if it ever happens to you. Roadworks. Y'all frockers gotta stop speeding past my elaborate road cone setup because a hard hat and orange vest will not save me if you go amiss. People know that rip currents are dangerous, but don't think about them as a real threat often enough. Deep cuts on your fingertips. They're called felons and can infect your bloodstream. Clean them out, and if you see a red line traveling up your arm, get yourself to the ER immediately. My neighbor almost died from this when she cut her finger on her violin string. Edit. Removed my advice about changing tires. My main point was don't go under your car if the tire's off without a jack stand, but that should be obvious. Driving. Like you see the statistics of car crash deaths, but I don't think you ever truly realize how dangerous it is to simply drive somewhere since it is such a routine thing. Eating a lot of spinach. Believe it or not, people have had kidney failure from 3 spinach smoothies in a day. This is due to the high levels of oxalic acid. Attempting to change garage door springs without knowing what you're doing can kill you. Electricity. People seem to have little understanding or respect for it. Not getting enough sleep. Mosquitoes. The phrase, "We've always done it this way." Doing nothing for a long period of time. It gets addictive and it's the hardest thing ever to get back on your feet. Sitting in your car when it's broken down on the side of the road. Not wearing sunblock. Sit, reading all of this and wondering how am I alive, and still have teeth. A lot of household chemicals. Mix the wrong stuff and it's game over or seriously hurt. Not taking antibiotics to kill a sinus infection. Kinda seems obvious, but 13Y didn't think so, and that's how I ended up almost dead. Listening to loud music using earbuds. Or really any headphones. Having permanent hearing damage sucks. Roosters or digs. Make sure you're on their good side. Mine has bitten and scratched me more times than I can count. BBQing indoors. Edit. I'd like to expand to running generators indoors. 2. Moose. Bigger threat to people up here than bears. Edit. Clarification by. Up here, I mean Canada. Another clarification: we have a lot of moose and not a lot of grizzly bears. The more common bears, black bears, while still shouldn't be provoked, are a lot smaller and more timid than grizzlies. Not to mention everyone knows to be afraid of bears. They're large carnivores. Most people don't know to be afraid of moose. Hitting a moose with your car is pretty well a guaranteed fatality, but it's also highly underestimated how dangerous these things can be on their own. They can be around the same height as a transport truck and have a nasty temper if you decide to bug one. Texting while driving. Put your frocking phone away, you frock. Trying to repair power supplies or old CRT TVs, monitors. If you know what you're doing, you might not die if you don't get your affairs in order. These devices, even unplugged, can release enough electricity to kill you instantly. When I was learning computer repair, my instructor called them widowmakers, and to avoid repair of them. Breaking up with someone even when there was no domestic violence in their relationship. My daughter was killed by her ex-boyfriend for breaking up with him. There are many men and women killed for this same reason. Living alone. If you get seriously injured or ill at home and you're unable to reach a phone, your chances of survival are much lower than if you have at least one other person in the household. Power washers. Not trusting your gut instinct about people. There's a reason you have that little feeling of oh no, I'm uncomfortable, get me away. Listen. Distance and you'll thank yourself later. X. Misinformation. Glade plug-ins. My childhood friend's house burned down because of one of them. Also, a plug-in battery charger burned down a customer's garage. Hippos kill more people than lions do. Eating raw cashews. Living beyond your means, always having to leverage assets and become financially overextended in order to have things here and now. Getting knocked out. You're at risk of a concussion or brain bleed. Tylenol. About 500 people die in the US every year from overdose. Edit. The same as paracetamol, acetaminophen, Ofirmev, Mapap, Feverol, Farbitol. Wild animals. Most people know that they're dangerous, but they don't think about how dangerous they are. An example of this would be something small like a rat. They carry diseases and can destroy stuff if not taken care of. Drinking alcohol, not even getting drunk. I have cirrhosis mostly because I love beer, whiskey, and food. I now have incredible pain, anxiety, and have to take meds that are awful. The only fix is a transplant. The catch is, you have to be almost dying to get a chance at one. Enjoy. Not every day, not too much. Avoid the binge. Good people. Escalators. Crossing train tracks when a train is coming. People do it every day, so clearly don't realize how dangerous it is, until they are hit by the train and are killed. This is one of those things you wouldn't expect on this list, but if people realized how dangerous it actually was, people wouldn't tempt their fate each day to save a few minutes. Blunt kitchen knives. It may seem obvious, but they're more dangerous than sharp kitchen knives. Camels can be pretty dangerous. They can sometimes even decapitate people by biting their heads off. Hiking in the woods with earpieces in, even in a suburban area. It seems innocent enough, but not being fully aware of your environment can lead you to not notice snakes or coyotes. Resting your eyes for a few seconds after you turned off the alarm. Being overconfident while driving, or believing that cars will always stop for you. This is a very easy killer. Also, thanks for 250 upvotes. This whole post gave me anxiety. Frocking with any animal. A squirrel can and will frock you up. Edit. You furries are frocked. Holding a sneeze in. There have been cases of ruptured brain aneurysms and throats, as well as collapsed lungs. No recorded deaths though, according to the good old Google. Edit. Thank you for the cake day, wishes you wonderful people. Edit 2. Grammar. Prolapsing an anus. Loneliness. It really messes you up later in life if not right away. Coconuts. Coconuts kill 300 times more people a year than sharks, since only 16 attacks occur per year and 1 death every 2 years, while coconuts kill 150 a year. From falling from trees. Stupidity mixed with the spread of misinformation. Having unprotected sex. Letting a tampon sit for too long. It can lead to blood poisoning and you'll eventually die. Giving birth. It's natural. Cool. Still a million things that can go wrong. For both the one laboring and the one being born. Natural doesn't mean harmless. Low self-esteem. The desperation of your fellow man with nothing left to lose. One that springs to mind for me is flushing your sinuses, i.e., putting water up your nose. If done with straight tap water, brain-eating amoeba can kill you. Blowing into an orifice, butthole, angina, etc. can cause an air embolism. Deep cuts, self-harm. If you got something important but are normalized to seeing or blood, bad things can go unnoticed and lead to amputation. People. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. Bears. Yes, bears are known to be dangerous, but they are bigger, stronger, And faster than most people realize. I guy the first no once tried to tell me if he came across a bear in the woods he would just fight it. A full-grown 5'7" guy though he could physically win a fight with a grizzly bear. When the spoon gets stuck in a tub of frozen ice cream and you pull it out really fast and nearly gouge an eye out. Frocking around with outlets. Alcohol. Ignorance. Overworking yourself. My coworker was just taken by ambulance to the hospital today for overworking himself. He had 180 heart rate. I am still waiting back to see if he is alright. Tylenol. Read the label and don't take too much. Just a bit more than the recommended dose can be deadly. Not pooping. Putting your feet up on the dashboard as a passenger. Driving and frocking with your phone. Holy shit, you people should see yourself. Rubber bullets. Mixing alcohol with energy drinks. I've seen some things. Man, alcohol poisoning is very real. The party is usually over once the ambulance is called. Getting knocked out. People don't realize how dangerous falling down and knocking your head on concrete can be. Unprotected sex with a stranger. Depression. People who assume will say, just be happy. Never actually frocking rode the horse. Edit. Rip sit. 250 likes. Edit. I never expected to hit this like this. 460 likes. Bandwagoning. When everyone basically adopts a hive mind and everyone collectively does the same thing even if it's wrong. Birth control. I'm currently bedridden and unable to walk but considered lucky because the blood clot caused by my birth control didn't break off and kill me. Apparently this is a common side effect too. Talking down about people to your kids. Don't raise your kids to see the bad in everyone, especially bad that doesn't even exist.